William Byron has won his appeal. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What is going on, everybody? All right, William Byron has won his appeal. He has gotten his points back. Let's take a look at this tweet from Bob Pockris, who I think broke the news. The appeals panel has rescinded the points penalty against William Byron. The fine increased to $100,000. Byron goes from 10th in the standings at 11 points below the cut line to 7th in the standings, 14 points above the cut line. So it is interesting on several levels because A, he is back above the cut line and above the cut line by 14 points, which is a pretty significant number. It gives him a little bit of wiggle room there. It also bumps out Chase Briscoe, but let's take a look at this tweet from Jeff Gluck and look at that playoff picture real quick. You see Logano at plus 18, Larson at plus 18, Byron, who was minus 11, is now plus 14. Suarez is now the man on the cut line at plus 12. And then you got Briscoe and Cindric, who were tied on the cut line. They are now both minus 12 below the cut line. And then Bell is now minus 45. And of course, Alex Bowman is out. We know he is going home. So basically, that puts Christopher Bell at a win or go home situation right there. And then the two guys who were sort of fighting, they were tied for the cutoff line spot. They are now both minus 12 to get into the playoffs behind Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez is now moved down to the person on the cut line, the driver on the cut line. So it is definitely shaking up the points. So now basically nobody has any room for error or anything like that in this playoff, and Christopher Bell now has to win, of course, to advance to the next level. So any type of wreck or parts malfunction or anything like that, and it's really going to shake up that picture. All right, that's that. There is another layer to this that a lot of people are talking about, and that is that it seems like every time a penalty goes against Hendrick, it gets either ignored or it's a really light penalty. That is a common thing that you see on social media. And I will say this about it: for the incident in question, the main problem with this incident in question is that NASCAR missed it. If NASCAR had caught it, it just would have been send them to the end of the tail end of the lead, longest line or whatever, or they would get a one-lap penalty if they had to serve it under green, because they would have to go through the pits and they would probably lose a lap there. So that would have been the penalty, and he would have had time to make it up. I thought the points penalty was too much, but for those people who disagree with that, let's look at earlier in the season. Ty Gibbs had a safety incident under a caution, or technically at the end of the race. He was only fined. He didn't lose points or anything like that. So there is precedent, and we can even look last year in the Cup Series when the race was over. Denny Hamlin went and slammed into Alex Bowman while he was doing his burnouts or whatever at the end of the race. He didn't lose any points for that. So there is precedent, you could say, that while the race is not going on, either under caution or after the race, that people have not lost points for essentially what would be considered reckless driving, right? Reckless driving under caution or at the end of the race. People traditionally have not lost points for that, according to the precedent that NASCAR has set. So I thought that this was actually a pretty fair ruling. But of course, I know a lot of people are going to disagree. If you disagree with me, let me know down in the comments what you think about it. That's all I got for you. I just wanted to do this one real quick. It came right as I was fixing to leave, so I wanted to get it done before I leave here. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe down below. All your subscriptions mean a lot, and I really appreciate all of them. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.